Sheets, and this is my extra credit YouTube assignment for organism biology at the University of Alabama in Huntsville. As you can see, we're going to get right into it, and I'm doing it on Chondrichthyes, which consist of sharks, skates, and rays, and other creatures, but we're going to focus mainly on sharks, skates, and rays. And we're just going to hop right into it. Basically, what Chondrichthyes are jawed, cartilaginous fish composed of sharks, skates, and rays. They have a skeleton made up of cartilage and do not have any bones. The interesting is they have existed on Earth for over 400 million years, and they have not had a need to evolve for the past 100 million years, which says something about them. They are mostly ectothermic, which means they gather their body heat from the external temperatures outside of their body. So basically, since they're in the marine water, their body temperature is going to be similar to the water around them. When it comes to the Chondrichthyes organisms, you have the sharks and ratfishes, which are on the left, shark being on top and ratfish being on the bottom, and the skates, which is in the top on the right, and the rays, which are on the bottom. When it comes to sharks, these fish have teeth-like scales called denticles, which is not like bone, which is more like a cartilage. Their mouth is usually located ventrally, and they were the first fish to actually have paired fins, which means a pectoral and pelvic fin, which is used for more efficient swimming. They have approximately 5 to 7 gill slits per side and no swim bladder. The largest shark that there is the whale shark, which is more of a plankton feeder than a large carnivorous animal. And as you can see here, we have the external anatomy of the shark. Eyes up there below the snout, by the snout, the spiracle above the eye, the gill slits that are noticeable, the lateral line that follows down. And here are the denticles, which are basically the scales that comprise on top of the sharks, throughout the shark's body. And when it comes to the shark's senses, they have a sound, smell, sight, and electromagnetic fields, as well as touch. And when it comes to the shark's hearing, the sound travels 5 times faster in water than air, and it reaches quite far. Sharks have this inner ear but no outer ear. They're attracted mostly by low-pitched sounds because sharks can't make any noises. They have no vocal cords. Bursts of sounds like that made by injured fish are particularly attractive to the sharks. It's also the sound made by humans splashing in the water. And when it comes to the shark's sense of smell, they smell through their nares, which are the nostrils, and sharks can detect 1 part of blood in many millions of parts of water. Take, for example, 1 part per million is equivalent to you taking 1 large mouthful of food compared to all the large mouthfuls you would take in a lifetime. As you can see, here's another diagram of the shark, and you see his nostril, snout, eye, spiracle all the way down to the upper lobe and the subterminal notch, my bad. And when it comes to the sense of sight, they can see extremely well in dim light. While bony fishes cannot dilate their irises, sharks can to allow more or less light to reach their retinas. Some sharks have a third eyelid called the nictitating membrane that can move to cover the eye completely to protect it during feeding. And there's a picture of a shark's eye and his eyelids. And when it comes to the shark's sense of electromagnetic fields, this allows them to detect the prey, and it's the ampullae of Lorenzini, which is electroreceptors located on the snout of the shark, which allows them to detect weak electrical currents produced by a prey's gill movement. So you could tell by this they have a particularly effective hunter. They can detect prey by their gill movement alone. And as you see, there's the ampullae of Lorenzini. You see. And sharks can feel touch with their skin. And sharks can taste their prey with their tongue. So they can distinct from flavors and everything like that. Which begs to differ that sharks will eat anything, but they have a particular taste to which they like and don't like. You see, there's the lateral line. It helps with the water pressure. It changes in water pressure so they can detect. It depends on what kind of water they go into, the depths of water that they go into, and everything. And also, Sharks, even though they're the top predator in the ocean, they do have a self-defense mechanisms. They do have enemies, which are other sharks, killer whales, and the most dangerous of them to them is humans. And one of the things that do kill sharks more than anything are gill nets, because they can get caught up in them and they can drown, since they constantly have to have running water over their gills. And there's a depiction of a gill net with fish in it. There's a picture of a thresher shark caught in a gill net, and a lemon shark caught in a gill net, and people are trying to get it out of one. Also, they have a protective coloration to hide them on the bottom or in reefs, and exhibit counter shading to hide them while free swimming in the open ocean. The bamboo shark can actually come out of the water for hours to follow prey or avoid predators. And there's a funny little picture of spearfishing. Don't know why it's on there. When it comes to, here's a little extra information. When it comes to shark attacks, 80% of attacks involve 1 or 2 bites. Most humans don't react like other prey when bitten, so they lose interest, and we certainly do not taste like their other prey. When an attack does occur, it's likely to be a single bite, and because the shark can then identify, and they just lose interest. And following the death is not usually caused by the shark, but due to blood loss. Humans do not taste like other natural shark food, are not desirable to an actual healthy shark. Of the approximately 360 plus known species of shark, about which 250 species are now alive, only about 25 have ever been identified in a human attack for one reason or another. The most dangerous are the white, mako, tiger, and bull sharks. And the majority of these attacks have occurred within temperate waters, within 67 meters of shore and depths of 1.5 meters of water. When it comes to shark reproduction, fertilization is internal. There is no parental care. Sharks have long lifespans and low reproductive rates. The females produce a certain scent to attract the males. And the male sharks have these claspers on each of their pelvic fins, which deliver the sperm into the female's cloaca. And lemon sharks have been seen mating while swimming belly to belly. And interesting fact, the baby sharks are called pups, which I think about should be adorable. And there's the claspers on a male shark, as you can see, and they'll latch onto the female's cloaca. And there's an external characteristics of sharks. You see all the way from the snout again, all the way to the terminal lobes. And there's 3 different ways a shark can be born. It's oviparous, which is the female lays a tough egg case. A shark develops in it for up to a year, and it survives and grows from nutrition provided by the yolk and hatches at a miniature version of the adult. The horn sharks and cat sharks are the egg case layers, which are more common. There's viviparous, they are born live, attached to an umbilical cord through which the mother has nourished it during development. Hammerheads, lemon, and blue sharks are born in this way. Oviviparous, if I said that right, born live without an umbilical cord is the way most sharks come into the world. The embryos feed off of yolk sacs inside the mother's body. If one of the embryos uses up its yolk supply before birth, it may eat unfertilized eggs or other embryos. And they are characterized, the skates and rays onto them, they are characterized by having flattened bodies. The pectoral fins are flat and extend to appear as wing-like structures. Most are demersal, which are bottom-dwelling organisms with 5 pairs of gill slits. They're always located ventrally rather than on the sides of the body. And there is usually no distinction between the body, head, and pectoral fins. Their eyes are usually on the dorsal side as well. And many skates and rays bury themselves under the sand, becoming almost invisible except for their protruding, watchful eyes looking for prey. And they typically feed on snails, clams, mussels, crabs, small fishes, and other animals living in the sediment. And instead of the sharp teeth like sharks, they have grinding plates to crush their prey. And the characteristics of a skate would be usually ranges from 1 to 6.5 feet long, with a slender tail. It uses a rudder to help it navigate, moving left and right, up and down throughout the water, and also some electric organs to help locate the prey. They typically live on sandy and muddy bottoms along shores or in deep water, and they have a caudal fin on their tail. There are spiracles on their dorsal side as well. And they have no stinging spine like some rays, like stingrays, and they have internal fertilization with eggs developing outside of body in egg cases, generally smaller than rays. There's a picture of a skate. And there's rays. Characteristics of rays include whip-like tails with a stinging spine for defense. There's a poisonous venom gland at the base of the spine. It may cause serious injury to the foot or hand, but if stung in the abdomen or chest, the person may die. Internal fertilization, with most young hatching within the female, and some egg cases are outside. They have no caudal fin on the tail, and they are generally larger than skates, and some have electric organs to stun prey, and there has been some species of stingrays grow to 750 pounds, and you can see quite a bit of amazing information on YouTube regarding how big they can actually grow. And then there's the picture of a stingray and a couple other ones around it. And there's a manta ray, and they get pretty large as well. And that'll do it. And this has been our presentation, and I hope you've enjoyed it.